something happened to me a little while ago that has never happened to me before. I was told to kill myself by a feminist. You know, I figured that would happen on my Tumblr, since I have a Tumblr, which if any of you want to follow, I'll put in the description. And you know, I post anti-feminist things, and I thought, oh, you know, someone is going to tell me to kill myself here. I mean, I've gotten condescending remarks about, oh yes, we do still need feminism, you know, in my ass box, and oh, I'm so sorry you can't see that, kind of like how a Christian says they're going to pray for an atheist. Like, no one wants that. You are just a condescending, moralizing asshole, okay? If you do that shit, no one wants that. Right. So, what it was about, because, I got into, or somebody posted to me about a comment I left about, Kesha's rape case on a review of one of Kesha's songs, actually, and me basically saying how, evidence, you know, and kind of, speculating why she made these claims against Dr. Luke, and how I probably think she was lying. She did it to get out of her contract, either for money, or apparently the studio was putting pressure on her artistically, where she couldn't really make the kind of music that she wanted to, and they were pushing her in a different direction. So she wanted to get out, said she was raped, you know, where years ago, like, she recanted those statements. She tried to pretend, oh, I was scared at the time, and blah, blah, blah. That's what I think what happened. Obviously, this feminist is, you know, one of those listen and believe people. But that's not what this video is about. Kind of segue. In my mind, MGTOW and feminists, you know, first world modern feminists, are basically people like two sides of the same coin. They are both assholes who blame the opposite gender for all of their problems. I met someone this summer who called herself a feminist, and the reason she called herself a feminist is because in her life she has been surrounded by bad men. You know, her father did quite a number on her mom, was around for a few years, but eventually abandoned them. You know, she's had boyfriends who were horrible to her. Her brothers are not nice guys. So she's basically just been surrounded by bad men her whole life, and she lives in a red state. She lives in a southern state, and, you know, Christian values are obviously much more prevalent there. Christianity is a very patriarchal religion. You know, there are a lot of patriarchal values espoused in the Bible, and when modern Western first worlds were patriarchal societies, I think we can say Christianity was a huge reason for that. How, you know, those things sort of fed into one another, or marched step alongside one another. So, you know, that's the reason why she's a feminist. You know, I didn't really get on her about all of the myths. You know, I was just, it was a live and let live situation where I was like, okay, fine. She wants to be a feminist because she's had all of these things happen to her, and she thinks all men are this way, or all women are victims, essentially, like she has been to an extent, you know, throughout her whole life. Then okay. She wants to believe that, fine. It's not true, but okay. And basically I think the exact same thing of MGTOW, where these are guys where who maybe they had a shitty mom, they've had shitty girlfriends, they've had shitty female relatives in their lives. Basically people who have made them feel like crap for being a man, for having masculine interests, for being different from them, from processing the world differently, because I think we can agree that men and women in general process the world differently. So these are bad women, you know, who have affected this guy's life. So he thinks all women are this way, hence for MGTOW. So, yeah. I don't think that these are reasonable, logical people, either, you know, first world feminists or MGTOW. Like, listening to, I've been watching some MGTOW videos, and they are hilarious and insane. Like, how, again, you know, when I watch a lot of feminist stuff or read feminist posts on Tumblr, I wonder to myself, have these women ever met men who aren't like Sunday morning cartoon villains? And that's like sort of the same thing for MGTOW. Like, have you ever actually met a real woman before, or do you just sort of like build up in your head that women are evil monsters, therefore you think all women are evil monsters? So yeah, MGTOWs are bigots, basically. Like, they're bigoted against women, and they are out and proud of the fact that they are bigoted against women. And, you know, I actually think that it's a good thing that these guys are going their own way, because they're, you know, removing themselves from women, and it's like, good, good. I'm sure no woman wants you, and the reason no woman wants you is because you are a horrid person. You know, you thinking you're a nice guy? No, you are not a nice guy. You are an asshole who has a black pit where your soul should be. So, yeah, that's my very short opinion of what MGTOW are. I know I usually go on fun, long, rambling rants, but this, I feel like I can really just be kind of succinct about it. Okay, so that's it. Sayonara, auf Wiedersehen.